On March 22nd, 2023, at 11:25 p.m. Eastern, Terran-1 lifted off from Space Launch Complex 16. Under the power of 9 Eon-1 engines, Terran-1 soared into the skies over Cape Canaveral for its first and final time. For the first flight of a rocket, the launch went pretty well, making it up a little past second stage ignition. But why did Relativity Space decide to retire Terran-1 after just one flight? Would they have made it to orbit if they kept flying Terran-1? And why would they decide to rely on a much larger rocket when they haven't even made it to orbit with a smaller rocket in the first place? Terran-1 is a fully expendable, two-stage, small-lift launch vehicle developed by Relativity Space. Terran-1 is most well known for being almost entirely 3D printed. Standing at 115 feet in height, Terran-1 sits right at the border between being a small-lift launcher and a medium-lift launch vehicle. The first stage of Terran-1 is fueled with liquid methane and liquid oxygen, the bottom tank being for liquid oxygen and the top for liquid methane. They do this because LOX is almost twice as heavy as liquid methane. Liquid methane has a density of 1.141 kilograms per liter, while liquid methane only has a density of approximately 0.465 kilograms per liter. The first stage is powered by 9 Eon-1 engines. Each Eon-1 engine produces around 23,000 pounds of force, which means that at liftoff, the rocket produces over 207,000 pounds of thrust. The first stage of Terran-1 stands at 24.3 meters in height and 2.3 meters in diameter. The first stage was tested a few months prior to launch during its 88-second hot fire test. This test happened on October 4th, 2022. Terran-1's second stage is also fueled with liquid methane and liquid oxygen. However, instead of being powered by 9 engines, the second stage is only powered by a single Eon vacuum engine. The second stage of Terran-1 sits on top of the inner stage and is 8.1 meters tall, with the same diameter as the first stage. The single Eon vacuum engine produces over 28,000 pounds of thrust. Terran-1's second stage was tested at Relativity's E4B test stand at the Stennis Space Center. The Good Luck Have Fun mission lifted off from Space Launch Complex 16 on March 22nd, 2023. This was Relativity Space's third attempt at launching their Terran-1 rocket. The first attempt at launching Terran-1 occurred on March 8th, 2023 and was scrubbed due to upper-level winds. The second day for attempting a launch happened on March 11th. March 11th included 2 attempts at liftoff. The first attempt got to engine ignition, but an automatic abort was triggered just prior to liftoff. They decided to recycle the count back, but the second attempt was scrubbed at T-minus 45 seconds due to a problem that was encountered with one of the Eon-1 engines. However, on March 22nd, 2023, after delaying several times, Terran-1 was ready to launch. At 11:25 p.m. Eastern Time, Terran-1 took to the skies over Cape Canaveral with a beautiful blue plume. 9 Eon-1 engines roared to life and lifted the vehicle off the pad, successfully lifting off and clearing the tower. The vehicle began its pitch-down range. Everything was looking good. 1 minute 24 seconds into flight, Terran-1 successfully made it through
Mayyyyxxx.
aerodynamic pressure exerted on the vehicle on ascent. 2 minutes 41 seconds after liftoff, all 9 Eon-1 engines shut down. The stages successfully separated and the second stage appeared to ignite. However, no ignition actually occurred. After a few seconds, the fire was extinguished and Terran-1's second stage was left to be destroyed on impact with the Atlantic. Relativity Space stated that Terran-1 was cancelled due to them wanting to put all their efforts into their upcoming, larger Terran-R rocket. Terran-R is a heavy lift launch vehicle that stands 82 meters in height and has a diameter of 5.5 meters. Terran-R can take around 33,000 kilograms to a low Earth orbit, but it will not be ready to fly until 2026 at earliest. That is the only reason they chose to retire Terran-1. In my opinion, I don't think Terran-1 should have been cancelled. Not a single space company has made it to orbit on their first launch attempt. An example of this is SpaceX with their Falcon 1 rocket. Falcon 1 failed 3 times before a successful 4th flight. Terran-1 definitely had lots of potential to become a super successful small lift launch vehicle. However, I also do believe Terran-1 will be a lot more used and successful. After just one flight, Terran-1 was retired. A beautiful test flight, but unfortunately the last flight as well. I am sure Terran-R will be just as spectacular, if not more. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.